This is Bahamas drill music. Here, today, we bring you the story of Tiano D'haiti, home invasion, facing 50 years, and allegedly killing his co-accused. The D'haiti story. Part 1: The home invasion. On October 28 of 2014, a police report was dispatched to a suspected home invasion, where one individual was shot death in his home. D'haiti was only 26 years old at the time, when him and two males, known to him, plotted a robbery on business couple. These three individuals, one driver, stay position outside the couple's residence as the gunman, and one robber entered the family home. Cartwright was at his Blair Estates home around 1:40 a.m. with his mother and father, when three men kicked in the front door of the house. When he heard the noise, Cartwright got his licensed shotgun and went to investigate. Cartwright encountered the three suspects, one of whom was armed with a handgun. There was a brief exchange of gunfire, which resulted in Cartwright being shot multiple times. Cartwright died at the scene. One of the suspects was also shot. This is how it all happened. The Blair Estates home invasion. D'haiti and ABM tried to persuade the Cartwright family. The home invaders, D'haiti and ABM, feigned being members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force in their attempts to burglarize their eastern New Providence home the night. As the Cartwrights heard shouts of police, police from the other side of H home's interior door, which was being bashed in, just seconds after their son, Andre, in a loud voice, commanded, "Stop, I have a gun." Mr. Cartwright shortly after 1 a.m. was awakened by loud banging and crashing noises coming from the direction of his home's front door. He made it out of his bedroom when he noticed the inner door was being pushed in. The inner door separates the bedrooms from the rest of the house, which the Cartwrights always locks that door before retiring for the night. When it became obvious the inner door would be compromised, Mr. Cartwright pushed his wife into the bedroom for safety. His son then pushed him into the bedroom, and consequently got in between his parents and the compromised inner door. A brief exchange of gunfire, and eventually Mr. Cartwright came out of the bedroom, only to see his son Andre stumbling backwards into one of the doorways on their side of the inner door. He noticed that Andre was in distress and holding his chest. Mr. Cartwright tried to resuscitate his son, but he had already died. Mr. Cartwright sat on the bathroom floor with his dead son in his lap for an unknown amount of time, before going out the front door, falling on the grass and sobbing until his son's body was taken away. However, D'haiti presented himself to the accident and emergency room at the Princess Margaret Hospital, suffering from an injury shortly after the incident in question occurred. D'haiti showed up at the hospital in a silver-colored Honda vehicle being driven by a woman. Upon pulling up at the hospital, D'haiti jumped out, bareback, and told him he had been stabbed. The officer did not actually see the wound because D'haiti had his hand covering the injury, which was on the left lower side of D'haiti's torso. D'haiti was rushed inside by nurses and taken to the emergency room. Dr. Dervin Kemp, a senior house officer at PMH, later told the court that upon examining D'haiti in October 2014, the convict was found to have sustained a gunshot wound to his left lateral chest. Same day as home invasion, police saw D'haiti in the emergency room, and cautioned and arrested him. The female driver, Shakoya, was also later cautioned and arrested. The female driver turned out to be Shikoya Davis, who said she never would have taken D'haiti to the hospital had she known the gravity of the matter of which he would later be convicted. She said the decision to take D'haiti to hospital was largely impulsive in nature, and was made after ABM knocked on her door between the late hours of October 27 and early morning hours of October 28, 2014, and asked her to take him to PMH. Shakoya then stated, "If I had known, I would have never, ever even drove my car to the hospital with him," she told the court. Meanwhile, Police Detective Sergeant Sherwin Brainan testified D'haiti told him he was one of the men who visited Cartwright's home on October 28, 2014. D'haiti claimed stayed in the car while Andrews forced his way into the Cartwright residence. According to Det SGT Brainan, who was attached to the Homicide Division of the Central Detective Unit at the time of the incident, D'haiti made his statements on October 31, 2014 while in PMH suffering from a gunshot wound, further pointing out the significance of the circumstances behind D'haiti's attempted armed robbery charge, suggesting that Cartwright, by shooting his gun in defense and wounding D'haiti, likely foiled what could have been an armed robbery. If he had not been shot, he might have gotten away with it. she said at the time. However, D'Haiti and ABM escaped in a silver-colored Honda Accord driven by Shakoya. D'Haiti was sentenced to 49 years in prison for the October 28, 2014 home invasion and murder. D'Haiti was further sentenced to 25 years for attempted armed robbery. D'Haiti made an appeal after he was sentenced to 49 years in prison for breaking into a couple's home and killing their adult son during the 2014 Blair home invasion. Has been granted an appeal against his conviction. D'Haiti was discharged and granted bail. Submissions will be heard later about a possible retrial. Our sources alleged. It is be rumored that ABM wanted D'Haiti killed. As well as D'Haiti wanted ABM killed. It was alleged ABM had snitched to the cops that placed D'Haiti in prison. That sparked a beef when D'Haiti was acquitted for the murder and awaiting a retrial. D'Haiti and ABM was accused of entering the Blair Estates residence of Glenn and Emma Cartwright. This happened in the early morning hours of October 28, 2014. While in the course of committing a robbery, D'Haiti shot and killed the couple's son Robert Andre Cartwright. D'Haiti is accused of breaking into the home of Glenn Cartwright, 44, and killing him. Kevin Andrews, 24, of Montel Heights, was charged with being an accessory after the fact. Prosecutors alleged that Andrews, knowing that D'Haiti had committed murder, helped him evade the law. Neither men were allowed to enter a plea to the charges as the matter is to be fast-tracked to the Supreme Court on January 16, 2015, through presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. D'Haiti's lawyer, Glendon Roll, claimed that his client was beaten while in police custody. The chief magistrate noted the complaint before remanding the pair to prison. Andrews is scheduled to reappear in magistrate's court on November 2015 for a bail hearing. In 2017, a jury unanimously convicted D'Haiti of murder, attempted armed robbery and burglary, and in April 2018, D'Haiti was sentenced to a 49 years imprisonment, a 25 years imprisonment and a 20 years imprisonment respectively. The sentences were ordered to run concurrently. The 2 years, 10 months, and 17 days he spent on remand were deducted from his sentence. It was alleged at the time that both shot and killed Robert Andre Cartwright dead following the home invasion, while D'Haiti in 2017 was convicted of the murder and his co-accused Andrews was acquitted. 2021 D'Haiti was granted appeal and give bail under strict conditions while he awaits a retrial. Part 2. The Kevin Andrews hit. Fast forward to January 2, 2023. Around 3 a.m. While Saxon's powerful orchestra was beating Bay Street with Junkanoo music, gunshots were loud in the Montel Heights community. As the scene was unfolding, a male who we now know as Kevin Andrews and his girlfriend Laura Taylor, while sleeping, both were shot dead multiple times in their sleep, about the body and in their heads. As the two gunmen fled, other family members in the home wasn't hurt in this incident. Rumors is that Andrews, a crown witness in his case, and D'Haiti, his former co-accused, prayed for bail seeking revenge. It is alleged D'Haiti and another male named Pumpkin were the shooters. In the early month of March in 2023, Tiano D'haiti, who is awaiting a retrial on charges of murder, attempted armed robbery and burglary. Police wrongly accused a man of violating his bail conditions. D'Haiti was arrested this month after officials from the Electronic Monitoring Center alleged that he had failed to comply with his bail reporting conditions. When he appeared before Magistrate Shaka Servile, D'Haiti said that those conditions had since been varied by the Supreme Court. A check at the Supreme Court registry revealed that D'Haiti's bail conditions were relaxed and he had not breached the terms of his release. However, D'Haiti failed to inform police that his signing-in requirements had changed. As a result, Servile acquitted and discharged D'Haiti. Part 3. Jeremiah Andrews vs. D'Haiti and Pumpkin. Jeremiah, also known as J.D, was alleged hitman in a revenge get-back for his brother ABM in 2023. Let's take you to 2019 to this current day. JD was on bail for a mass shooting in Montel Heights 2019. Now back in custody on a gun charge. Police arrested Jeremiah Andrews, 27, and two other men on September 18, 2020. After they allegedly found a loaded 9mm pistol at a home in South Beach. JD arrest comes almost a year after he was freed on $12,000 bail for a shooting at a birthday party that wounded 11 people. Andrews and his co-defendants Henry Wright Jr. and Keno Cartwright, denied charges of possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. She refused them bail and set a trial date of January 27, 2021. J.D. was released once again from prison, and after the death of his brother and his fiancée J.D. wanted revenge. Word was around 2:30 a.m. on January 6, 2023 at a bar on Washington Street and Robinson Road. It is alleged that J.D. approached 34-year-old Kyle Pumpkin Tynes, of Montel Heights. Exchange of gunfire resulted in Pumpkin being killed after being shot multiple times by his assailant. Number 4. The D'haiti hit. Sources close to the investigation tell us a victim named Tiano D'haiti, 32, was shot and killed broad day. A 16-year-old boy is being held on murder and attempted murder charges that stem from separate shootings. The teen, whose name has been withheld because he's a minor, appeared before magistrate on Friday, charged with the October 16 murder of 32-year-old Tiano D'haiti, and attempted murders of 24-year-old Ishamel Lowe and a 16-year-old boy on October 7. D'haiti, who was on bail awaiting retrial for the 2014 murder of Andre Cartwright, was gunned down at Market and Fleming Streets by two gunmen. Police said that Lowe and Fisher were walking along Kwaku Street when they were approached by two gunmen who shot them. Lowe was shot in the face and the teen who was with him was struck in the arm. The teen was not required to enter pleas to the charges and was remanded to the Simpson Penn School for Boys. D'haiti was acquitted in his last arraignment and allowed to walk up and down, undetected and monitored around civil people in the community.